Welcome to the first part of the series, the differences between a spiritual awakening and Kundalini awakening. For us to understand this difference is one, philosophically or metaphysically, it is not all that different. In fact, because they're coming from the same thing, except Kundalini awakening, right? If you take away Kundalini, because it's a name or a word that comes from Sanskrit, right? You take that away completely. Take away even spiritual awakening. Just take those labels off for a moment only, okay? Now, inside of us, all of us, regardless of race, religion, culture, creed, anything, as long as you are here, as long as you are incarnate or even not, you have always got and are part of and are creative potential, creative force. There is something or some force, you can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it spirit, right? That wants to experience itself and know itself. Now, in order to do that, it'll have to turn from being formless, right? And then to assume a form. To assume a form, so moving from formless to form, there is a mechanism, right? So what would you need to transform an idea that you have, right? You will need an action. You will need a vision. You will need a wish or a will. So you will need to will into action that which you wish to experience using, what do you use? Creative force, creative potential, what is otherwise known as the goddess, Parashakti, Shakti, Maya. Now Maya, because it is the veil of illusion. Why? The formless, when it's getting to know itself through the form, right? You see, they're both the same, except when they're face to face like this, the formless sees its reflection, and that's the reflection, right? And you as the formless begin to identify with the reflection, forgetting that you are simply a reflection of all that is. Let's just call this zero. Okay? There are so many names in so many various traditions, cultures. We're not the first ones to discover this. There were many before us, right, that we are aware of and that we are not. Now, in the middle, this, let's say it's a thunderbolt, right? Now, if you are a witch, or if you are somebody who wants to perform some form of magic, or you're a cook and really enjoys cooking, right? What are you going to do, right? You're going to throw in some things in the dish and cook it using fire, right? You're going to use this fire, you're going to use sun, moon, fire energy, okay? So you've got those three elements, Raja, Tamas, Sattva, Guna. Now you're going to use all of this to concoct your dish, right? But you, the cook, and you, the dish, are different. So it's a bit like wheat flour can turn into a roti, can turn into a laddu, can turn into a cake, right? Now, that creative force that first went into this big zero and thunderbolt and then created this, right? It also sprouted into so many different. Now, each reflection of this formless has in it the essence of that thunderbolt. The essence of that thunderbolt. Now, that thunderbolt has the potential to recreate any form. Okay? Now, the thunderbolt lives in each one of us, which is the creative potential, the creative force, that which creates, right? The entire essence of existence lies in each one of us, which we say is coiled in a kunda. Kunda means pit. And once awakened, it starts to uncoil, magnifying every energy center, its purpose being only to ascend. But in order for that to happen, each part of us must be prepared, our nervous system. Because think about it, if our nervous system was always going to be prepared, then you would always have had an open and awakened Kundalini. So for it to have been latent, there is a reason behind the fact that it is latent, right? It is latent because it doesn't open until there is a point for it to open. Now, what a spiritual awakening does, a spiritual awakening gives you the know-how about how to navigate through every center and to prepare your nervous system. Because when this thunderbolt energy is awake, it doesn't know what is good, it doesn't know what is bad, right? All it does is it acts and enacts your consciousness. Now, with the spiritual awakening, you will have had a paradigm shift of consciousness, which will be able to guide the Kundalini awakening. Be right back for part 2.